All right, those were obviously some of the top freshmen from this past season. The guys coming in this year are going to have some pretty big shoes to fill when you look at the likes of Sammy, Watkins, Giovani, Bernard, and company. But it may be fun to play a little game of who's the next. You ready for it?
Absolutely.
All right, who is the next Sammy Watkins?
Well, the guy that really stands out to me when I think of what could be an explosive receiver, who could be an explosive receiver for an ACC team next year, is Marvin Bracey that's headed to Florida State. 4.3 speed in the 40, but more advanced as a receiver than you may think. He's a guy I could see running past secondaries next year.
All right, who's the next Giovani Bernard?
Well, the thing that stood out to me about Giovani was his ability to be balanced, his balance as a running back and vision this year. Wes Brown, who's heading to Maryland, very similar type of running back, in my opinion, could have a similar type of impact considering the depth chart at Maryland versus the depth chart at North Carolina last year that saw Bernard rise to the top.
All right, fair enough. Let's move to the defensive side of the ball. Who will be the next Anthony Chickillo?
Anthony Chickillo, what stood out to me about him was he was physically ready to come in and compete in the ACC from get-go. When I think of physically ready defensive linemen, the first one that comes to mind is Mario Edwards Jr., the nation's top overall prospect, heading to Florida State. I think he'll make an impact from day one on a very talented defensive line for Jimbo Fisher and company.
All right, a lot of talented members going to be joining secondaries all across the ACC. Who's the next Merrill Noel?
I'm taking you back to Tallahassee. I think that Ronald Darby, the 6'1" corner, 5-star prospect from Potomac High School in Maryland, very fast and big, can step in right away and complement talented players like Greg Reed in the Seminole secondary from the start. So I'm going to go with Darby on that one.
Somebody asked me who's the next J.C. Shurburtt. I don't know if we'll be able to find one. The guy knows everything. All right, J.C. Shurburtt, Kyle McGovern. Catch you next time on the ACC DN.